One of the most popular reality shows on Discovery Channel, Street Outlaws, has been airing since 10th June 2013 and follows illegal street racing based in Oklahoma City. The series today stars Justin Shearer, Kelley, and Travis Santa Cruz, and follows them as they're spending a lot of money on their cars and racing them against other street racers for money and respect. The show numbers 14 seasons and has been nominated for a single award, a 2015 California On Location Award for Location Professional of the Year Reality Television for Michael Percival. 2 video games based on the series have also been developed: Street Outlaws: The List in October 2019, which received mostly negative reviews, and its sequel, Street Outlaws 2: Winner Takes All, in September 2021, which has had a rather better reception. Most of the show's fans claims that it's nearly 100% real, and that it's great in depicting the supposedly illegal races taking place on American streets. However, the show has also been heavily criticized for not being so real, with critics claiming that many of the conversations and races have been staged, and that the races themselves are made legal prior to the shooting of the episodes. We're going to mention some of the fake things about Street Outlaws, which, when known, might make the series a little less interesting for you. You will often find the racers interviewed in the show talking about their financial situation and claiming that they need to win a race to be able to pay their bills and improve their cars. This couldn't be further from the truth, as most of the cast is quite rich, with their individual net worth being over $1 million. One of the show's main stars, Justin "Big Chief" Shearer, has a net worth estimated at more than $2 million, while his car is valued at more than $150,000. Sean "Farm Truck" Whitley also has a net worth of around $2 million, while David "Daddy Dave" Comstock is right behind with $1.5 million. Even Sean "Murder Nova" Ellington has a net worth estimated at over $500,000. Besides earning money by winning races, the stars of the show Street Outlaws also earn from their sponsors, from the show's success, and from their own merchandise being sold on the internet. This means that their claims about being poor are somewhat false, and are only there to add a bit more drama to the series. While the races are indeed real, with everyone doing their best to win some money, it's been pointed out by fans that these aren't really illegal, because if they were, then the cast members would have been arrested a long time ago. The largest auto racing organization in the world, National Hot Rod Association, NHRA, has threatened to take away the licenses which it has given out to those taking part in the show, claiming that it ruins the organization's reputation and that it's highly dangerous. The situation eased when Big Chief joined NHRA, but they have still continued to point out the danger of these races. Police can rarely be seen in the show, and fans have claimed that even the couple of times when the racers flee or are chased by the cops were staged. Many fans of Street Outlaws wrongly believe that when the cast races in the show, it's actually the first time on that particular street. This is one of the biggest fake things in the series, because those who are to race are given the opportunity to scout the entire locations, as well as to ride the entire track alone prior to racing their opponent. This is allowed because of a couple of things, but mostly because the show producers want the drivers to be certain that the street is clean, to know exactly where the corners are, and how tricky these are to take. This is all because the producers don't want to see the racers crash, be injured, or even lose their lives in a street race, and that's why you don't get to see many car crashes in the show. There's also a theory that some of the races have actually been organized at the exact same locations and in the same streets, which then makes it easier for the producers to prepare everything for the shooting and for the racers to drive. But this hasn't been confirmed. Another way to add to the show's drama is to create rivalry between the racers. This is often used as a reason behind why 2 racers would go against each other on the street after challenging one another to a race. The most common case is that one would boast around about having a faster car which nobody can beat, bragging rights, and the other, having been insulted by this, would claim that he could beat him any time. The heat between the drivers is apparently never real, and is sometimes compared to the heat seen between the World Wrestling Entertainment cast. It has also been pointed out by some fans that they're aware of these events being scripted, but that they like it because they understand how less interesting Street Outlaws would be without it. They've also claimed that perhaps some of the arguments between the racers are indeed real, and that they don't usually bother about what's real or fake, but simply enjoy the show. Are the police friends of the show? Even though you can often hear the racers talk about how scared they are of the police, the truth is that the police are quite aware of what is happening and where. A couple of fans have claimed to have actually seen police officers spending time with the racers on the set of Street Outlaws. Not only that, but the police help with the shooting of the series by closing off the streets, thus making sure that no passing cars could endanger the lives of the racers or their own. By knowing this, the show is no longer about outlaws and illegal races, as everything sounds legal now, especially because they literally have police working with them on the show. To try putting seeds of doubt in their fans' minds, the producers of Street Outlaws occasionally persuade police to chase the racers, or simply talk about how the police have found out that they're racing and are on their way, so that the cast would have to disappear. Another interesting but disappointing fact about the show is that all the races which you can see in Street Outlaws have a permit granted by local authorities. This is why you don't get to see arrests in the show, why local people don't immediately call the police when they hear the car's engines, and why the main cast is still there after 8 years of the show and not behind bars. You have sometimes seen the change in race locations before the race happens, but have you ever wondered why this happens? While the show makes you think that the racers have received a tip about police knowing about the race and are coming to get them, the truth is that the particular race was denied a local permit, thus having to relocate to another venue. It remains unknown how much scripting there is in the show, but it's widely known that there's not a single reality show that doesn't have at least some scripting. The producers of Street Outlaws aren't interested in sharing these details with the show's fans, while the cast might even be forbidden by their contracts to talk about it. What saves the day are perhaps the real personalities of the show's stars, such as Big Chief and Daddy Dave, who really know a lot about street races, and who talk about some of the real-life experiences in the show. For example, Big Chief has been racing since he was only 9 years old, and has numerous interesting stories to tell. It's sometimes explained by the fans of the show that a bit of scripting and fake things is absolutely necessary to keep the show interesting, and to add a little bit of drama to it, but also to keep the people safe, and to comply with the time constraints of each episode. Do you remember the time when a racer was spying on another racer from an ice cream truck, wanting to learn about their car and how fast it actually was? Yes, that was one of the scripted scenes, but it was interesting to watch, wasn't it? What has made fans wonder about the level of fake events in the show is the fact that all the races take part on roads that are way too public, when an actual illegal street race should be as far away as possible from any people who could hear them and report them to the police. These should take place on dark roads away from residential areas, while industrial locations would be perfect, as there should be no one there working. In Street Outlaws, you can see the racers on streets which have so much lighting that one might think it's a NASCAR race. It becomes quite obvious that the racing route had been carefully chosen and prepared in advance, because it has to look good for the show. This is yet another item which has made many wonder about how much of the show is fake, while some fans have claimed that the only real thing is the race itself, as both the drivers want to win and gain recognition. However, some people have recently become skeptical about this as well, claiming that even the races might be fixed. Most of the cast members of Street Outlaws are racing for one thing: to be on the list. This comprises the 10 best street racers in Oklahoma City, and the number 1 is currently Big Chief, who has nobody to challenge but accept the challenge from number 2. The ratings work this way: in order to climb the list, one has to challenge the person who's ranked higher, not only a person who is just one place above. It's interesting to note that people from all around the US come to Oklahoma City to challenge the drivers, wanting to have their own name on the list. There are rumors that the list has been abandoned, but participants would surely form their own pecking order. The spin-off from the show Street Outlaws has been airing since 2018, entitled Street Outlaws Memphis, and today numbers 21 episodes, and it is a bit less popular than the original. The spin-off follows JJ the Boss, who is rated the best street racer in Memphis, Tennessee, while it also follows his friends, most of whom are also racers, and his family. The show is said to be as scripted as Street Outlaws, so it's believed that the races are legal in both. Those who are aware of that have written various reviews on Street Outlaws Memphis, claiming that it's still fun to watch, and giving it an average rating of 6 out of 10. Regardless, the viewing numbers suggest that both series are entertaining TV, and so are likely to be around for a while longer.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.